Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to IG Live with Harman Pro India. In today's edition, we have a prodigy. He's only 24 years old, but he's traveled the world, worked with the likes of A.R. Rahman, Amit Trivedi, and many others. He's a musician. He's a composer. He's a producer. He's donned many hats at uh, at such a tender age, if I might add. Without any further ado, let me just add him. I've sent him the invite. Hey, Rhythm, if you're watching, I've sent you uh, a request. Oh, for some reason, it's saying that you're not able to join. Let me try sending you the invite again. This should pop up in your notification right now. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Long time no see, man.
Yeah, man, it's been too long. I'm good.
Too long.
Actually,
Sorry?
hectic with some sessions and all. So I had two
Yeah,
sessions
I
just
figured.
before this.
Okay. Yeah, for a
And
second, I
then,
was worried that you might ask me to cancel the chat.
no. No, kind of figured it out. So I did the second session, half of it. So once I'm done with the
Okay.
thing, and then I'll go back again to finish it off.
Is it super secret or what are you working on?
So the first one which I worked on today, for all fall jingles. So the first one was Huggies, if you know.
Okay.
Yeah, and the
As
second
in
one,
the diaper brand.
yes. So
Okay.
these are all advertisements which I'm
Okay.
working on.
Nice.
So
Nice,
for
nice,
guitar
nice.
sessions and everything. The second one, I actually didn't even ask them. So I got to check it out what it was. I just played like as quick as I could, and then I came for this.
Okay. Okay. But are you composing the whole thing or
No, for now I'm not composing. I'm just going there to do the sessions as a session guitar player. So it's
okay.
much easier and quicker as well.
Nice.
Right.
So has that been going on for all this while, as in throughout
Yes.
the
For the
lockdown?
longest time,
Nice.
actually.
Okay.
Lockdown was a bit different. I was in Calcutta for like 1.5 years almost.
Oh
So,
my.
yeah, that's what. I was chilling with my parents and everything. So it was cool. I was working on my own stuff, on my own album, and practicing a lot, which doesn't really happen when I'm here and working every day for different sessions and whatnot. But then, yeah, came back, and then I'm working on all these sessions again.
Okay. So it must have been after a long time that you got to spend so much time in call.
Correct. Of course. I mean, for last five, I mean, yeah, for last 5 years, I think the only time I go for or go to Calcutta is only when I have a gig, and then I can
Right.
only spend time like for 2, 3 hours with my parents, and next day again flying back to somewhere else or for any other gig or something.
Oh,
So this was
okay.
the time when, yeah, my parents were really happy to see me for so long, and I was, and I got that.
I'm sorry. Oh, you went blank there for a bit. Sorry. Yeah. Your audio is cutting out. No, you're silent. I can't hear you now. It's coming in and out. Say something. Oh, I think it's to do with your internet connection. It's your video's going around in circles. You're pretty much stuck. Okay, let me just try inviting him again.
Perfect.
Hey.
Sorry, it's the call from the session. Uh,
Oh my.
yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. I'm sorry for this. It might happen again though.
You know, this used to happen with me as well because when I used to, so I have two separate phones. One from the company because the email you can't bring your own device, so you get a device from the company for the emails, but there's no SIM in that. And earlier, I used to log into the Harman Pro account from my personal phone, and this used to be the constant problem.
I,
Uh, if I get calls, then the audio would disconnect from this and come from the speaker and whatnot. Finally, I switched to, oh, there you go. Oh, I thought you were gonna, can
correct.
you hear
Am I
me?
there? Yes, I can.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can.
okay.
Correct. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I wish there was a option with which you could actually just keep um like internet on for Instagram live and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
yeah, but then
like a
not
D&D
many people
option.
to do. Correct. Correct.
Like, you know how you have those voice recorders where you have the option of switching on ignore calls when you're recording and all of that?
Correct. Can you
Yeah,
do that
something like
when
that.
you're actually
Yeah, you
on
can, you
Instagram
can.
Live? Oh, really?
Not
But then
Instagram. I'm talking
not
about
Instagram.
there are some apps,
Normal
right?
calls.
Voice recorders
Right.
or HD voice recorders or whatever. The settings have an option of allowing you to ignore your calls.
Right. Right. Well, that's the only
So
like
for those who
yeah.
came in late, can you just share a brief journey of you as a musician so far? How did it all begin? I'm sure it started off with being in the company of your father.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, so I belong to
Right.
a musical family, and I started when I was 2 or 3, and my dad made sure that I learn both a melodic instrument and a rhythmic instrument. So I started off with tabla, and I've learned that for at least 11 years. So,
Wow. Do you still play?
yes, I do play, but I don't practice. But yeah, I can play.
Oh,
That's he made sure because it's one thing which is so important in music to be in time, you know. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, melodically, as I've said this earlier as well, my dad thinks that music, rhythm is a bit more important than melody because we have human errors and you can go out of tune. That's fine. But if you're not in time, you're not part of anything.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So you're not part of a band. You don't vibe with each other.
True. True.
I mean, that's how it started, and then was learning guitar and tabla simultaneously for all these years. I mean, guitar, I didn't have to specifically learn, or didn't have that attitude towards learning guitar because it was dad playing all around all the time and guitars everywhere. So I would strum, I would pick up things and everything. Tabla was more serious for me for a lot of years of my life, where I would have to practice like at least 2, 3 hours a day and have that specific time. Doesn't matter if I do homeworks or not for school or not. You have to practice.
Right.
That's how
Right.
it
Right.
was. But then, yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was really strict. My dad's really strict about everything. Um,
I'm sure.
yeah, I remember he locking me in a room that if I don't finish my practice, I'm not allowed to do anything. So those things also happened as a part of my life where I was
Well, what
forced
kind
to
of practice
practice.
did you do? Was it more of your what's the word I'm looking for? The rudiments, or it's a mix of
Yeah,
everything. Your
in a
exercises,
way, correct. I mean, it's more about see, for tabla, no, for any kind of percussion instrument or leather instrument, you need to have a lot of energy, um, or dum, as we say in Bengali, that you
right,
need dum
right,
in a way.
right,
So,
dom,
correct. Um, even if you're sitting and you're only playing with your arms or your hands, that's the only movement, but still you need a lot of energy from within and power. So you have to do that every day. Otherwise, one
true.
like a day you stop doing it, I mean, it's a saying that if you don't practice for one day, you're losing at least a practice of a week. So better keep doing it, even if it is like for 10 minutes. So
Wow.
that's the kind of pressure I always had. But then it was amazing throughout. I mean, um, the practice was mostly of exercises, of a lot of different calculations, so that I get used to those calculations. Let's say 7/4 or 9 or
Right,
5, which are odd time signatures. So
right.
we can work on 4/4 quite easily because we listen to it all the time. So we are accustomed to it. But so as 7/4 or 5/4 or any of the other time signatures, just that you have to spend a lot of time to feel where the one is.
Yeah.
So you spend more time with it, you feel also practice in a way where you don't stop at least for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, one thing. So you gain a lot of strength, and that helps you to uh, play with ease, when you're playing for like a short 5 minute section or something. So gaining all these things,
Okay.
even for guitars, I mean, I do this practice still, which are like you don't stop for at least 15 to 20 minutes. I mean, it's really
Right.
painful in a way, but you're kind of pushing yourself too hard. But then that helps you to play everything with ease after a point. I mean, you gain that strength and you utilize that in a way. So
True.
yeah, these are some of the things which I used to practice, and a lot of talims and bowls and um, stuff like that. And also the other part of
Nice.
practice was not really sitting with an instrument. It was a lot to do with listening. More you listen,
Hmm.
more you learn things, and you know get the taste of it. It's really important to know what is in music. There is nothing really good or bad, but then still there are things which makes you different and gives you a lot of
True.
ideas to kind of work on, and can be really interesting in some. I mean, even for these sessions, let's say when I play for ICICI or HDFC or Huggies or any of these other brand, like the day before I did for Sunfeast, what is that? Mm, one of those biscuits. Um,
Right.
yeah, so I mean, they are really simple sessions. You only play like 3, 4 chords in it. Um, Super simple, but still, what you can add to it makes the difference. And with different instruments, like just one note, which kind of creates that little outside
Which
kind of
makes the
chord.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So those things, you listen to a lot of music and then you start adding those things which you got influenced from. So yeah.
That's nice. But was it so when you started exploring music? When was it that you decided that okay, this is what I like doing? Uh, did you was it a particular genre that piqued your interest, or were you part of a band, or how was that process?
It was actually
Where
again.
did you how did you get to the space you're in right now?
So I think it was when I was in class 5 or 6 where I started. It was the time when I could learn anything quickly, and that was the most exciting time that I listened to something and I can actually play already. Thanks to my
Right.
dad that he made me practice so much certain things that uh, helped me to kind of pick it up so quickly, make my ears train my ears. And uh, so, I mean, as I said, like the first few years were quite stressful in a way. But then later
Yeah.
on, I actually fell in love with it once I started learning the things which I wanted to learn, which I felt like, okay, this is amazing. And then I listened to it, and in no time, I'm already playing it. So that motivated me to learn even more and learn things which I wanted to learn. Let's say I got so influenced from Steve Vai, Joe Satt, Paul Gilbert, and all these guys, Mr. Big, the band, John Petrucci back in the days. And I remember me and dad would have dinner, and every night we would put one VHS, like those cassettes, and watch all these videos, and also a lot of lesson videos back in the days when they used to make.
Uh, DCI. DCI.
Correct. DCI also. So I mean, so many. Every day would be a new thing. A lot of drum videos,
Right.
watching Dave Weckl lessons and everything. Dennis
Oh,
Chambers,
yes.
all
Omar
the
Hakim. Yeah.
correct. So had like a series of those things, and my dad would, I don't know
Right.
how, but he used to get that in Calcutta also. He could somehow manage it, and he used to travel a lot outside for gigs. So he used to buy all that stuff, and we used to watch. So got really influenced by that kind of music, and listened a lot. Then I used to listen to Steve Vai. The G3 actually changed my game. G3 1994, where Steve Vai starts his song For the Love of God. And just before that, I remember he does that little movement to play with feedback. I never knew that
Right.
you can actually
Right.
have feedback like that. And you just change your
Right.
position because of different frequency clashing with each other. You have a different note playing. Holding one note, you don't have to do
True.
anything. So all these
Right.
things were like information for me. So that's how it. I also want to try. And then I remember my dad got me the GT3 Boss, and
Home.
cranking up the drive, cranking everything. Now let's play. And then, yeah, like gain at 11 if it had. So yeah,
Nice.
from there it all started, and then listening to Tommy Manuel, his albums, some of his live stuff. Got into uh, fingerstyle acoustic guitar playing. Then John Williams, which influenced me so much to learn classical guitar, and then I started learning
Right.
classical guitar from Trinity College of London. Finished my grade 8, so learned the right classical technique as well, which helped me to play acoustic guitar with the same technique, but then a lot of folk, country style, or jazz fusion stuff with the same technique. So you have so much ability
Right.
to do so many things at the same time. So
Right. Right.
yeah, those things were like all happening at the same time, and I tried to grab as much as I could, and it was fun. I mean, that uh, entire time was like learn as much.
You must have had a lot of fun exploring people like Paco de Lucia
Oh,
and
of course, yeah,
John Paritucci and all these people, Al Di Meola.
of course, of course. I mean,
I mean, I still get goosebumps when I hear Race with the Devil on a Spanish highway.
it
Uh,
is.
that is amazing. We've got a few comments. We've sorry people, we've ignored the comments. Someone has sent you some love from Chennai. That's Neera Vadrian. Johnny 23 Strings says Rhythm Shaw, awesome technical player, awesome guitarist. I know. Uh, Anurup says, or rather asks, can we have some audience questions? That itself is a question. Sure. Uh, we are open to questions. There is someone else. He says, hello, Rhythm. I am a fingerstyle guitarist. Recently, I think it's a typo. Can you advise how we can build an idea and actually come out with an actual song? There are plenty of ideas, but it's difficult to structure it.
Hmm. Um. Well, again, it's a question which is not so easy to answer straight up, like, okay, this is the formula with which you get things
Yep.
done. But then, yeah, it has, I mean, I kind of, so you make one, okay, I get it. So you should work on the transitions, which is what I can think of to answer in this particular situation, because you
If
have
you put
like,
it very coarsely, it'll be like, how do you stitch it all together? You may have bits and pieces, but how do you make it flow?
Correct. There are so many ways to actually do it. Let's say I'll give you a quick example of. Uh, there are some theoretical things which you need to know, or rather helps a lot in terms of um, how to uh, have transitions. Let's say you are in the key of E major, and then you want to go to F sharp. The song like it's a transition to F
Right.
sharp. But then how do you do that? So there are some ways with which you can do that, and we know that the fifth chord, the dominant chord, is B seventh for E major, and it's C sharp seventh for F sharp. Correct? So now if you want
Right.
to go to F sharp, you just don't go from, but then so it's that little
Right.
transition, just adding of
Right.
chords in between on which you can actually write a melody, which can be, you know, which can sound really wavy and kind of make sense rather than
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
changing it to some random two semitones up. So
Right.
that's one way, and then also finding ways. I mean, I don't know what the structures you have, what are the uh, sections you have, let's say for A and B and C. But then these are some of the things with which you can definitely put them together and make it sound more interesting than abrupt.
Okay. Nikhil Raj says, in your previous story, saw a whiteboard. What do you write on it? Is that a practice schedule?
Ah, it's right here actually. It's
Ah, okay.
it's the album I'm working on. So I'm kind of trying
Oh,
to put things together.
nice.
Yeah.
So I
And
guess that answers your question, Nikhil.
right, and Anna's lot of stuff is also written here. So she was also working on some of this stuff.
Right. Anurup is asking, how did you practice targeting chord tones in your improvisation?
I think it's tuned to D, step down. Uh, it's uh, it's interesting. But then the things which I kind of practice, let's say, are triads, but in a more scale kind of manner. Let's say if you're in the key of C major and we're playing the Ionian mode, which is the normal C major, correct? What I'll try to do is practice stuff like 135, 246, 357, and so on. So it's like that's a major triad. Then the minor triad, which is Dorian. Then
Right.
rather than doing it all over the fretboard, which is also nice, try to do it at one place so that you have everything at one place. And that's kind of a little
Hmm.
difficult because it's you have to kind of find the notes, not the
Right.
this is more like a shape. So you know this is the major shape and this is a minor shape. So if you know the diatonic chart that the first chord is a major, second is a minor, third minor, fourth
Hmm.
major, fifth
Hmm.
major,
Hmm.
sixth minor, seventh minus in flat five, and again back to major. You can do that. So major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minus in flat five, major. But then, so you have all the chords right here of the entire scale.
True.
So then you
Hmm.
can, uh, let's say you're playing a section where it's from C major to D minor. You can do this. So that's G minor already. And
Okay.
yeah, then you can actually also do something like, let's say C major to E flat major, but just by playing C minor. So, and back
We
to
can
major
barely
again.
hear you, but yeah,
Yeah.
get the idea.
So that would be for a major. Then you want to go to an E flat minor, then you can actually do that. So, trying to play chord tones and triads in one place and kind of trying to get that thing sorted so that you have those changes happening and you can have everything at one place kind of
Right.
helps me a lot to figure out things rather than just jumping over all the fretboard. So
True.
that's one way, I guess. I mean, again, it's like a big topic. There are so many steps to this.
Yeah, it's
So,
not. Yeah, correct.
yeah. But
There's
I still
Rohit
hope that.
Jaiswal asking an interesting question. How do we find the correct teacher, especially for beginners?
Oh, yeah, that's important. Well, contact my
Well,
dad.
clearly that wasn't a challenge for you, but
Correct. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so important to actually have a good teacher because then it's not only about playing, but how you hold the guitar. How do you
right.
pick? How do you play I mean, the classical way of playing of the left hand position is somewhat like you have to keep it very straight. So,
Perpendicular to the fretboard. Yeah,
correct, correct. So that, I mean, they also use a lot of the pinky.
pinky.
And yeah, but then if you look at all the other blues players, their position is somewhat like this. They
Yeah,
bend a lot.
Bangalore. Yeah,
But then the classical guitar players
yeah. I can
can't
only
hear,
see what
right?
you're doing.
I think it's the
Finger style.
right. Yeah, somewhat like that. But then it's the position which matters. So yeah, and then kind of finding it's like the middle ground for both for whatever style you are playing. It kind of helps.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Metalhead says, "What's your favorite music genre? What genre of music do you like to play the most?"
Um, Rock jazz fusion. It's something I really enjoy listening to and playing.
Okay. Hmm. Not so much funk.
I do, but it's more like certain times I would enjoy that.
Ah,
But it's like rock jazz fusion, which I can enjoy all the time.
right. I know what you mean. Nikhil again asks, how do you recognize chords very quickly without the instrument? Even complex progression and voicings. Any exercise or books for that?
It's more to do with ear training. So how you practice it is like um, by understanding the intervals. So let's
Right.
say this is the first note. The minor second note is this. Second note
Hmm.
is this. Minor third note is this. And major third. So what you do is take your instrument, whatever it is, and don't look at the instrument. Just play one note and play a random note and try to kind of guess what note it is. It's a major
Hmm.
seventh. So when you play a major chord with a major seventh note, you can hear that, and then you can actually
Hmm.
come out that that's
Hmm.
the chord. And then let's say you play this note and you know what it is. I mean, or let's say you're playing in the key of C major again. That's the ninth note or the second note.
Hmm.
So again,
Hmm.
when you play a major ninth chord, you can hear that note and you can come up with the name of the chord. So these are some of the things which you can practice in your leisure time and helps a lot to kind of find out what chord it is.
Hmm. Right. Right.
Intervals
Someone's also
basically.
asking, do you give one-on-one lessons?
I do, but then
So you can inbox Rhythm, who's asking this, fan underscore of underscore nature underscore photo. Okay.
okay.
Uh, Nikhil says, yes, I can understand the melody without the instrument easily, but chords are difficult for me. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, then it's actually what we are doing right now is more monophonic, only
Right.
two notes at a time. But then you do more of it, you start getting into that polyphonic zone where you can actually name all the notes.
Hmm.
Check out one of those
True.
videos by Rick Beato, how he trained his son about chords. So he plays anything, and his son is like, okay, these are the notes. and it's just
Right.
amazing. It's mind blowing to see how he like captures all those notes and like so correct. And my actually, I also learned a lot about these things from my dad. I mean, he has always been playing a lot of Bollywood stuff. He used to play with R.D. Burman, Asha Bhosle, and all these other guys. But then his knowledge, his theory knowledge is just somewhere else. And then I would take any book and ask him the longest chord I can see, and he would be so perfect, everything right. And so these are some of the things which I learned from him. Like,
Right. Right.
what is a suspended chord? It's you have to understand the meaning of that chord as well, which is you're suspending the third. So you are suspending if it is a minor or major. So it's like, let's say a chord which has a third. It's a major third and a fifth. So that's a major chord. A, a one with the minor third, that's a minor chord with the minor third. But then chord which
Hmm.
doesn't have the third, so one, four, and five and one. So that's a suspended fourth chord.
Hmm.
So these things, when should you call um, major ninth and when you shouldn't call it, and you should only call a major added ninth. So when it's
Right.
major added ninth, it's the one, third, fifth plus nine, and when it's a major ninth, it's one, three, five, seven, and nine. So that's the formula you
Hmm.
should go through, and you'll get like more ideas about how to name chords and how to understand what those chords are. Just a little bit of reading about this thing will open up a lot of
Right.
confusions. Yeah.
Right. 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 I have many questions coming in now. Do you enjoy the work of players like Ovane and Intervals?
Oh, definitely. Amazing.
Yeah.
I remember Shamridha, one of my friend, introducing me to ONA. I mean ON. That's how it's called. And intervals. Beautiful
What about
production.
Animals as Readers?
Oh man,
Tosin?
love it. Tosin Abbasi killing it. And what technique, man. Such a modern age,
Absolutely.
such a new thing he got into this guitar industry, to be
Uh,
very honest. With all the
yeah,
thumbs
and
and
it almost they almost spawned a new wave of bands that are very technical. They may be some of them may be heavy, some of them may be jazz influenced, but they are technically so heavy. I mean,
correct,
people like Polyphia.
correct.
Uh,
Amazing.
have
Again,
you heard the
of
Geo 80
course.
song? Oh
Correct,
my
correct.
God,
I
what
mean,
is happening?
it's not only the playing, but it's the entire production, which is so well
Yeah.
done, so well done. Again, we
Production
are
is,
so
anyways, in all forms of music, is seeing an all-time high now.
correct, correct, correct. It's also because we are so much into social media now that we are getting this information of what
Yeah,
they are using,
yeah.
how they are using it, deconstructing the entire process of how they produce. Even,
Hmm.
I mean, I learned a lot of video editing in this lockdown, I remember.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, kind of helping me a lot to kind of do my own stuff, and I'm just doing at my home and home production and whatnot. So, because of the information and because of we are aware of how they do it, kind of helping us to get to that level or at least try
Hmm. Hmm.
like our way. So, which is amazing. Again, thanks to social media for one of those reasons. Like it's like information's
Yeah,
everywhere. So
absolutely.
just you gotta grab it and the right ones, and then yeah. I mean, intervals, Owen, Polyphia, um, animals as leaders, and I mean all these bands like
Do you
these.
remember Spastic Ink?
I don't. Is it the song? I don't remember.
No, it's the band, Ron
The band.
Zizomek, the guitarist.
Okay. I can't
Uh,
remember now, but I have heard like I don't know.
so it's like
Like
math
lyrics.
metal,
Right.
basically. So they've done crazy stuff like, do you remember Bambi, the Disney movie?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's
Yeah.
an animated flick. What they've
Correct.
done is they've taken a section where one of the characters is being introduced and there's a little dialogue. They've just kept the video and recreated the entire audio track, including the dialogues, by just playing it.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So if someone's talking and someone's saying wake up," and he's just
Right.
quack, quack,
Correct.
that's like
I mean,
I think a 7-8 minute track. Uh, Amazing stuff. And that
Yeah, no,
guy's
there are.
crazy. He's like a nerd. He makes his own guitars.
Oh, that's madness. Yeah, then you know every inch of it in terms of frequencies, in terms of yeah, I mean it's see when we talk, it's all frequencies, and every
Right.
frequency has a note in it. So we know that
Right.
440 is A, which is something like this. Ah,
Right. Huh.
and if you're talking like this, then it's on
Yeah.
A, and then you can write a note on it in the chord, you know,
Right.
and you know as I've said right now, ta ta, you can
True.
definitely add
True.
chords. You just have to kind of uh, figure out the frequency of it, and then you know what note it is. And
Absolutely.
yeah, by that you can do so many crazy things. And these guys are doing it. Mononeon is doing some crazy stuff
Right.
with all the presidents talking about some random stuff, and he takes that and then writing an entire arrangement, doing an entire arrangement with that. It's amazing. I mean, it's so entertaining and so
Yeah. Yeah.
musical at the same time. It's just not for entertainment, but that
Hmm.
you're capable of doing that. You understand what notes they are and then playing with it. And rhythmically, it sounds super polyrhythm as well because they are not on time. But then you put a groove underneath, it becomes polyrhythm. Let's say we have four, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and you want to have five in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On
Yeah.
15,
Yeah.
we kind of
Absolutely.
match it. So these things, I mean, yeah, once you have those information, you can play around and make some crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Someone else is asking, is it important to learn how to read sheet music?
yeah. It's not bad to learn. I mean, in a way, we don't
Yeah.
really use, let's say, when I'm doing all these sessions, it's never that I'm using my knowledge about sheet music as such because it's super quick. You listen to the track, it's a 30 second, it's for advertisement, and you play with the vibe. But then there are situations where I was playing with Louis Uncle, and I remember I got off flight and then I had to go straight to the gig. I remember one of my friend helped me to get my gear there already. So he did the sound check for me, and then Uncle Louis gave me his book which was sheet music, and I never heard that music. So you read and you play. It was difficult, of course,
Nice.
but then it was so challenging and it's so fun, that you're reading, you're feeling it, you're playing, and it's like you're winning a war almost, like when the song is over. So yeah, but
Nice.
then yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and that too, it's Uncle Louis' song, so it's not a 145 song. It's like a lot of things happening in between. But
Right.
then, yeah, those things. I remember, I mean, also I've learned sight reading from Trinity College of London, where
Hmm.
it's a part of training. It's not about only playing the pieces, but then you have oral training where what they do is, let's say you have, what they do is they play, let's say, how would I say? They play one melody on which the second time they make two mistakes, one rhythmic mistake and one melodic
Melodic.
mistake. Correct.
Hmm.
So then you have to kind of find out which mistakes are those.
Hmm.
That's how you train your
Hmm.
ears that okay, it was
Hmm.
different from the first time.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, that those are the oral training and then sight reading, how fast you can read. And I remember on the grade 8th, I had 9/8 time signature and four shafts. So it was well, I mean, it went well, but thank God.
Nice. Oni
Yeah,
says rhythm একটা plug-in হয়ে যাক.
plug in हो जाए. I
I
mean,
think
I
he's talking
like.
about a VST, you developing a VST or something.
Oh, I don't mind, but then there are so many good plugins already, putting so
Yeah.
much effort in it. I mean, it's a lot of time-taking thing. But I mean, these
Keshav
days,
is, yeah. Right.
yeah, these days, like I'm using a lot of Neural DSP, Plini, and then I always loved using Guitar Rig 5, which was my thing for the
What about,
longest time.
do you use Axe effects?
I don't use XFX. I love, I mean, if it is digital, then let's go with. laptop sounds or plugin sounds. And if it is live, I always prefer to have amps and pedals. It's much better.
Absolutely. I remember the Iron Heart.
Correct. Man, that was quite a thing. Just before the gig, I mean, we are all done with sound check and my amps were still not on stage.
Right.
Uh, no, but it's just, it's such a homely feeling when you have your own amps on stage and your pedal. It's like that's your area where you feel like home and you know your sound, you know how your amps react, you know where to stand to get that right amount of feedback and all that thing. I really enjoy that air,
Yeah,
that movement,
true.
which
Right.
digitally it's very different. I mean, digitally it sounds amazing. The new plugins and all are they're capturing and the simulations are like
Hmm.
amazing,
I
quite
mean, I was blown away. I
perfect.
mean, even I'm a big purist in that sense. I would rather mic a guitar cabinet than have a plugin.
Correct.
But when I heard Axe Effects, the simulations and the emulations are out of the world. I mean,
Correct, correct, correct. They're amazing. But then again, if it is live and then I have the ability to just carry my amp, I would do that anytime. So
nice.
that's the thing. Yeah, I remember like carrying two amps. I had a stereo setup for the Harman live gig.
Live Arena. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, right. It's
Keshav is
amazing.
asking, do you like Necrophagist? Well, I love
I
them. But
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm so bad with names. I have super bad memory, to be
so
very
this is
honest.
the metal band that Marco Miniman was a part of before he got into the progressive circuit.
Okay. Then definitely it'll be amazing. I just gotta check it out. Or maybe I've heard a lot
Yeah,
of
so
their
they
stuff,
are
but
bordering on math metal,
right,
but very there's a strong sense of groove also.
correct. I mean, the first band in terms of metal which I really loved was um, Periphery. That's
Oh, yeah.
something. They have this beautiful melodies going on with a lot of polyrhythmic stuff and even the tones. I mean, Neural DSP is from them. Get Good Drums plugins is from them. So they really dig into the tone to T, and they they wrote some beautiful albums, and even featuring
Hmm.
Guthrie and some of the other guys. Like, so I mean, that was one of the influences I remember, and of course, anything. Um, I mean, it's just that I'm super bad with names, man. I have bad memory, like anything. Yeah, but I'm sure I've heard all of these things. I listen to a lot of music.
Nice. Let's see what else. Oh, if I want to play guitar like Rhythm Dada, then what should I do? Lock yourself in a room
Practice.
and practice.
Yeah. And of course, I mean, just the thought that you're doing it for the sake of music, not for anything else. When I
Right.
practiced, it was only about music, how to get better. Even now, I mean, all the other work I'm doing is a part of this whole music thing, which I'm enjoying, meeting new people. It's challenging to listen to what composers want from me and delivering those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe sometimes it's not at all what I kind of play in my leisure time, but then it feels nice that you're making someone happy and serving the music the way it should be. So that's the part of it. But then, um, I mean, I so want to practice and want to get better. Like every single time, like I sit with the guitar and there's so much to learn. Oh man,
Yeah, it never
I
stops also, no?
it
Matlab,
never stops. Correct. I mean,
yeah.
Guthrie said it so nicely. I remember where, okay, you see that finish line, you run a lot, you run faster, and you think you're getting close to the finish line, but the finish line actually runs faster than you. It runs further. So you
No, it's a
never reach
constant,
it.
right? If this
Yeah,
is you and this is the finish line, it's constantly like,
exactly. Exactly. And then you get into new genres and then you get into the details of how they do it and everything. So, it's like overwhelming. But yeah, it's fun to just keep on learning and experimenting and exploring all these things. That's if you just
true,
have that kind of
absolutely,
mindset, you'll you'll be an awesome musician. Like
true.
really. Yeah.
Third Eye Surfer says, produce some neo soul stuff, please.
I will. I mean, I'm writing so much of stuff, but I'm not finishing it. And then I get too picky about how I wanna do it, and then it just gets delayed. And with new work and everything, sessions every day.
Hmm.
Yeah, but then I'm writing this electric album for like almost 5 years now, in which Gergo Borla, Anton Davidians, Kaz, and all of these guys actually played in all the songs.
Kaz Rodriguez.
Yes.
Nice.
Correct. So yeah, I'm like featuring different musicians for different songs, and also not to just feature them or in a way where they are amazing musicians, but also kind of uh, the music they like to play, kind of trying to have that in that particular song. Like the track which I did with Gergo and Anton is on Seven, and I know Gergo is a beastly drummer, and anything is just super easy for him. And that particular genre and kind of music he loves to play. So had that. Marco in Marco's track, I have Taka like a lot of Konokol stuff in it because I remember me, Marco, and Mohini, we were all touring together, and we were sharing Konokol stuff a lot. So kind of trying to stitch memories back
Nice.
together when I'm
Nice.
doing a song. It's a lot about journey also. When I have a journey with someone, and friendship and knowing their values and what they value in terms of music, trying to put those things together. I remember jamming with Kaz in London, and we were playing some of those electronic kind of stuff and track, which he's amazing at. He produces some brilliant albums for drummers, like drumless tracks, so you can play drums on it. So I have a track based on that, and then even for Dave Weckl, it's more of a Latin-based thing because that's he's the god of it. So yeah, I'm just
Hmm.
trying to like like imagine what they'll be best at. I mean, they're best at everything, but still trying to figure that one genre and trying to make a track in which they fit like perfectly. So yeah, that's what my new album is looking
Great.
right now.
Hey, tell us something about your gear here. What all do you use? Your guitar, your pedals, your
Right. So
amps, your mics, everything.
yeah, I mean, I guitar wise, it's Kepma acoustic guitars
Okay.
which I use, and lovely guys, Procraft India, and I have like four of them. This is one of the smaller bodies. I have one jumbo body here, and two other in the car for sessions.
All
For
six or any 12s?
all six, all six. It's just different
Okay.
sounding guitars. Yeah, which
Okay.
is so important for sessions. You really hear that difference a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
But they're
and
all semi or all just
all acoustic,
acoustic.
all acoustic.
Okay.
Semi in the sense they also have pickups in it.
Okay.
Yeah, if I need to play and plug it in for live section, like
Right.
live gigs.
Right.
For electric, I use Yamaha guitars, and that's Pacifica 612 and
Hmm.
Revstar 720B. I mean, again, those guitars are all in the car. I have one
Right.
611, which looks something like this, and it's a
Nice.
beautiful guitar, and it's with a P90 pickup, which sounds like little vintage kind of a sound. And yeah, it's an amazing guitar and looks lovely with a coil tap here. So for
Wow.
more
That's nice.
tonal options, and then that's for electric, which I endorse and use all the time. Of course, I do use some other guitars as well. So one of the guitar which I absolutely love is this one, which I was actually tracking with in the morning. It's a Hufner, and I'm
Oh,
a huge fan of Hufner guitars made in Germany. And I try to collect Hufner guitars, and I have five of them. So this is one of them, and it's strung with Nashville tuning. So it's the first four strings are all an octave up. So how you would strung like a 12 string guitar, the other
right.
strings, not the main strings.
Right.
So
I
it's
got it.
around, and then can you hear it?
I could hear it before, not now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
And then the second and the first strings are the normal strings. So when you play any
Right.
chords, the it's a different inversion all the time. It's kind of, octave displacements happening. So sounds more like a harp kind of thing.
Man, what is that spider chord you're holding?
It's a
You know what this reminds me of? Not the position, not the position, but the shape. Always with me, always with you.
oh, correct, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What a song, man. What a song. That
What
was
a
one of the
song, man.
yeah,
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 and plus you're wondering, should you use the middle finger or should you use the thumb?
yeah. Right.
You know, for the
Correct,
E,
correct.
low
Right,
E.
right, right. Yeah, actually it's the first inversion of E major. So you are playing E major.
Right,
And then you, as a bass note, you're using the G sharp.
right.
So when you are, let's say, playing, when you are, again, this is one of the tips which I would love to give to you guys who wants to know how I change chords, even simple from A to E, let's say, correct? What I would do is the first time I would play an E major, it would be a normal E major or maybe a ninth. Second time I would do the first inversion. It's still an E major, but then going to A major. Because that little
Hmm.
G sharp sounds so beautiful and helps you to, go to A major because the next semitone is A.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, something like that, playing the same chord but
Hmm.
different inversions gives you that openness and it sounds like a different chord altogether, but then, you're still in the same progression, but making it more, embellishing it more with different
True.
notes. Yeah, so that's
True.
something which I use a lot in my sessions, making it a little more interesting. The other guitar which I love to use is, I'll get this. It's a Hufner again. It's a President model 1940s, and it's with the famous pickup which are no longer available. But then
Oh man.
it's a hollow body jazz guitar, and it sounds so warm. Can't tell you.
Get, you've heard this guy called Emil Vossler?
Again, I don't remember the name, but
Uh,
hmm,
so uh, he was part of this band called Darth, Daath. Darth,
okay,
again a metal band, but he is a jazz guitarist who got into metal. But so he brought a completely different twist onto solos and sections and
correct,
passages and you know the whole progression. He uses a lot of hollow body guitars.
right, right,
Uh,
right.
that's why, yeah.
And I use D'Addario strings, and these are the flat wound D'Addario strings, so they are warmer than.
I don't know if I can hear the proper song, but I just was reminded of the whole George Benson
Of
vintage
course,
sound.
exactly. I'm a huge fan again. Yeah, definitely. What an influence.
Oh,
Yeah,
Breezin.
so, reason, correct.
Ah, correct.
Yeah.
There's a passage in that, right?
Correct. Right. Huh. Yeah, well, like I don't remember the exact key of it, but yes,
Yeah.
what beautiful, man. So, yeah, George Benson and all his beautiful songs. And then I got to know about George Benson's album, in where I heard that it's Steve Lukather who wrote a lot of George Benson's song, and
Wow.
yeah, which I got to know later. And so it's most of those pop songs which George performs are written by Steve Lukather from Toto. Actually, he wrote a lot of songs for Michael Jackson too, which we don't really know
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then he was one of the session guitar players, like one of the beastly session guitar players
Hmm.
who played in like all with all these artists in the most hit records and everything. So yeah, he wrote a lot of these compositions which we didn't know he wrote and thought the other artists wrote. So that was one. And okay, about the gear, I use when it comes to mics, which are all AKG, and I'm so happy and thankful to you guys for really having me on board. And I love using this. It's right here if you can see. It's the I forgot
C451B.
C451B. This is for
Yep.
the directional mic, which I use mostly when I want to have like a very, let's say, bridge oriented sound, or when I want to focus things on. So
Right.
that's for this, the smaller diaphragm mic, and then C414 for
Yeah.
large
Yeah.
diaphragm, more width and everything. So these are the main two mics which I use for acoustic recording. And then I have my drum kit here, and again I have the entire premium drum
Oh
um,
wow. Yes.
kit mic
Yes.
as well, so which I
With
use for
the
that.
with the 214s and the 451Bs and the D12s. Yeah.
Correct, correct. And I actually have two D12s, so I use both the D12s um, for kick. And also I
Dude,
use D12s
ha
for bass and electric when I'm recording with amp, and they sound amazing.
I was just about to ask
Uh,
you,
right.
are you doing that? Because you
Yes,
should, yeah.
I'm doing that. And then you have those three options on the top with the frequency, I mean,
Right.
with the EQ changes.
The
So
polarity, yeah. The polar patterns, yeah.
I don't think it's the polar patterns. It's just the EQ
Not the polar
knobs.
patterns,
Right.
the cut, the
Correct. The cut.
pass, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The high pass filters. Yeah,
Hyper, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So it sounds amazing. I kind of keep the high pass open when I'm recording bass with my amp, and I
Hmm.
kind of
Hmm.
engage the high pass for electric guitar. And then I also, you know what, in one of the G3 sessions, I think it was 2002 or something, in which John Petrucci played. So they used the C214 for the amp recording
Hmm.
live. So actually, I use the C214 and the D12s to record my electric guitar and miking the amps, and they
Lovely.
sound beautiful. They sound beautiful. So that's my mic setup, and also headphones for sessions. When I'm doing at home, I kind of use AKG. Oh, I don't remember the name again.
The 361, I
K371,
think. 371,
K371.
right.
But I love, man, this is one of the best headphones for mixing. It's the
The
K612 Pro.
7612. Okay. Wow.
I
Nice.
mean, I want to get a. There's one
It's
model
an
which
open
comes
back,
with.
na?
It's an open back and it's so good for mixing on the fly. It's just a beautiful pair of headphone. So that's what I use for mixing and mastering when I'm doing on the fly and don't have speakers to kind of get
Hmm.
references from.
But
So
do you prefer a processor or do you prefer pedals?
pedals anytime.
No brainer. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wish I could show you, but then it's like the entire desk is filled
No,
with
no, no, don't bother. Don't bother. It's fine.
pedals and all, which
Yeah.
I
The pedal rack is, yeah.
correct. It's all here. I'm actually trying to get one amp switcher in which you can have like it's more like a guitar rig kind of a system where you have all the amps connected and the cabinets connected, and you can just switch which amp going to which cab and do all that in one rack format. So it's the live
Wow.
guitar rig system which I want to get into because I actually have four amp heads and three cabinets, getting one more amp head soon. So really excited and kind of trying to build that kind of a setup where I record everything live and with real amps and everything. So making the setup easy.
Lovely. Nice. But all this is
Yeah,
at home, or
all at home. I actually got a new place where I want to do a proper setup in terms of acoustic treatment and isolation. So once that done, yeah, I hope things will be much easier. But here I can't really be so loud. I got complaints just by playing drum kit. So yeah.
that is,
Anyways,
yeah.
that's something. I mean, it so happens that it's a funny story. I don't know the name of the guy, but then so I was recording something at 3 in the morning, acoustic, not something loud,
Hmm,
but then just strumming it a
hmm.
little hard for that particular part of the song. And this guy comes with the security guard, knocks the door. I'm like freaked out at 3 in the morning. He's like, I'm a big fan of yours. I've watched you live on Palm at Harman Live Arena. But can you please shut it down now? I can't sleep. I'm like,
Oh
I'm so
God.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll do it definitely. Yeah. So I kind of finished
But do
the
you have a
set.
treated pad anywhere, like a soundproofed
I don't have it here. I mean, I
space?
have some of the panels. Um, but then, yeah, mostly I'm doing a lot of stuff in the studio or so I'm playing. But I mean, I kind of like this the sound of my room right now because it's filled with a lot of guitars and there's that little reverberation happening, which is
Hmm,
amazing, which is so musical. And it works because I have played like, I don't know, at least hundreds of sessions for both jingles and for songs. I've done a
hmm.
lot of stuff for Shankar Mahadevan from home.
Right.
And they love the sound with the same mics. So I kind of like
Oh,
this, but
nice.
definitely want to get into a proper space where everything is kind of isolated and treated well. But
Cool.
hopefully it will happen soon. Yeah.
Super.
Amazing.
So I think we've just uh, clocked in an hour, and
Right.
really sorry, people. I know there have been a lot of questions coming in. I wish we could have taken or fielded more of those, but it was turning into a Q&A session only, so we had to go back to the chat as well.
Right.
But I'm sure Rhythm would be happy to reply to your queries if you DM him. So feel free to do that. I'm sure if and when he finds time, he'll respond to you.
Okay.
So Rhythm, on that note, thank you so much for joining us today, and it
Man,
was lovely chatting up with you.
my pleasure. Completely. Had a great time, man. So much laughing.
Yeah, likewise, man. Likewise. Oh, a
All right.
fan of Nature Photo has been asking this for a while now. Thoughts on, I don't know how to pronounce that, Jakub or
Oh, amazing.
Zaiteki.
Amazing. What a guitar player, man. A funky, metalish kind of a sound. Super tight. Um, I think he used a mayonnaise guitar. Um, yeah, but beautiful,
A
beautiful.
what guitar?
Mayonnaise guitar. So it's
Oh,
it's not
I'm.
mayonnaise which you put on burgers, but then it's
That's what I was
so
picturing, and
no,
I was kind of blindsided by that term. So,
no, but it's a brand which actually Mohini also uses. It's the base which she uses.
right, okay,
So it's the
okay.
same company, and they sound great. And yeah, what a guitar player, man.
Yeah, for a second I thought, some classical players have this habit of dipping their fingers in oil and then playing. So I thought
Correct.
maybe you dip it in mayo and then play.
Actually, the that's one of the technique which is so important, and I use that on every. I mean, it's just natural that you accumulate oil, natural oil, right in here,
Right,
and
right,
also in your
right,
forehead.
right.
So just before my
Forehead.
playing, I always do that. So it's my move.
Right,
I mean, and then you get that little oil. It's so much easier to play then.
correct.
So yeah,
But then,
it's not
do
mayo.
you run the risk of, do you run the risk of, like if you have a certain response on or rosewood fretboard,
Yeah.
and you use oil and suddenly it turns into maple and you're like all over the place.
No, never happened. It's not the left hand. It's the right hand which I do so
Oh,
much.
the right. Oh, damn. Okay. I missed that.
The one which
No,
has
I was talking about the left
slightly
hand. when
Again,
players dip it into oil and then play it with the left hand.
I think that's what sitar players do, not really guitar players, but
Si-
yeah.
no, 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 no. I've seen a few guitar players also do that. Mainly guitar players who are trying to emulate the Indian classical sounds or
Hmm.
notes on a Western instrument.
Correct, correct, correct. Right.
So I guess they have to do it because of the fretboards. So I
Correct. I
mean
mean, Prasanna does
the
it. I
frets. Yeah.
remember I saw Prasanna live once, and then I saw him using a spray, which is an oil spray, and he's just spraying his fretboard.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's all,
okay,
he's not really dipping it. So it's like much
cool,
easier to control the oil, whatever you're using.
right.
So that's something, yeah, definitely I would also use. But then the only thing is when you put oil on the guitar strings, it dampen up like a lot. It's not as clean, and
Plus,
it
it
doesn't look
attracts grime and dust and it cakes
correct.
up over there. Yeah,
Correct, correct. I
yeah.
mean, if you have a guitar tech who's always there right after every song, he's wiping out everything. It's amazing. I mean, but otherwise,
Then you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
yeah, then you can burn your guitar, he'll salvage it somehow. Who knows? But yeah,
Oh, all right.
amazing, man. Amazing.
Cool, cool, Rhythm. You take care. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks for joining us and see you all very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have
Rhythm.
a
See you.
great time. See you, Arish. Bye.
You too.
See you.
Bye. See you.